Greetings, hope you're doing well. Today I'm doing a quick review of the new Amine record titled Limbo. This is the second full-length album from Portland rapper Amine, coming off of his debut album Good For You, which I believe came out about 2 or 3 years ago, which I thought was serviceable, but I never really had the itch to go back and listen to it. I've always liked Amine in more of a featured role than I have as a solo artist, because in his features with artists like Injury Reserve and Snake Hips, he really makes his mark on those tracks with his charisma and personality. So for Limbo, my expectations were to get more of Amine, and hoping that whatever material this album had to offer really stuck with me. And aside from a couple of lackluster tracks, in my opinion, I think Limbo is a pretty big step forward. The opening slew of tracks are a nice way to ease the listener into the album, with tracks like Burden, Woodlawn, and Roots. Burden has this hollering sample along some smooth guitar licks. Woodlawn is a banging track with some nice woodwind melodies. And Roots, featuring JID and Charlie Wilson, is a nice heaping handful of soul rap with some great performances from the features. Speaking of great features, this album has a pretty good amount of them. Pressure in My Palms with Slow Tie and Vince Staples is great. I love the way the instrumental caters to each rapper's aura on the track, allowing each rapper to essentially breathe their own air. The track Easy with Summer Walker is a steamy, sexy duet where the two play off of each other incredibly well. And the track Fetus with Injury Reserve is probably the most abstract song on the entire album, with the crispy, crackled out instrumental as Amine and Richie T are talking about their lives and the responsibilities they may or may not want to take with a possible child. One feature that did not stick well with me though was Young Thug's on the track Compensating, with how annoyingly high-pitched and nasally the vocals were, alongside how pretty uninteresting the flow and rhythm were on the track. Not to mention, for me, this track was in the middle of a small rough patch in the track listing. Following it was the track Shimmy, which I found to be really by the numbers and left no impression on me whatsoever. The beat was incredibly average, the verses were incredibly average, it's meh. And the track RIRI, which I did like at first, but upon subsequent listens, it kind of grew flavorless to me due to how mundanely simple it was. It really had no staying power with me. But bringing my expectations back into the forefront, the latter half of the album, where Amine is fronting these tracks himself, proved to me that he is very capable of truly being his own artist. The song Mama is an endearingly sweet piano-led ode to his mother that just made me smile when I heard it. Becky is a track reflecting on this interracial relationship that has its fair share of troubles from pre-existing family values. And the closer on the album, My Reality, is a good way to cap off the record, taking into account a lot of the topics that Amine presents on the album. Some other things I wanted to bring up regarding the album was I found production for most of the album, while not anything crazy or personal, it worked well enough with Amine's charm. The sound palette was a bit bite-sized, but it was able to differentiate itself across the track listing to make a lot of the tracks stand out on themselves. The late Kobe Bryant is mentioned quite a bit on the album as a father figure and as an inspiration, which hit home for me quite a lot on an emotional level. Overall, I really enjoyed this album. I feel like Amine improved a lot, supplying a great amount of bangers that I could definitely come back to. I'd give it a